governor of Florida has banned state workers from using the term climate change. Now they have to say, shit is getting hot. Patsy Lee, Harvey Oswald. Who is that person? And Bob Marley may be gone, but someone shot the sheriff and the deputy. Hear me now, this is Starseed Activate. Hello, my name is Gareth and welcome to Starseed Activate. In the Florida region of the American East, changes in sea level are putting about 300,000 houses worth somewhere around $145 billion in central bank credits at risk. Meanwhile, the local lizards in charge are denying that they discreetly banned use of the terms global warming and climate change, saying instead that it should be called nuisance flooding. Well, it's Atlantis all over again. Want to give a real quick shout out to Edgar Casey, big ups on predicting all of this and more 100 years ago. Okay, moving on. You know that thing where you order food to be delivered and you're like really hungry and then your food doesn't show up for like a while? Well, that ain't shit compared to what's going on in the American city of Ferguson right now. Things got tense during a recent protest against the police by human civilians outraged over the DOJ report that systemic racism was running rampant in their department. Multiple gunshots were fired at police from behind the crowd of protesters, leaving one officer shot in the shoulder and another with a bullet lodged near his ear. One protester tweeted this out, saying that they now believed agent provocateurs are real, and another said the shots came from behind them. The chief of police started immediately speculating and blaming protesters. A news source covering the situation tweeted that they listened to the police scanners discuss the location of the shooter, and that the archive will debunk any claims by the police chief that the shots had originated from the crowd. Speaking of mysterious shooters supposedly firing shots from hidden locations, we would all like to take just a small amount of time to talk a bit about Lee Harvey Oswald. That's right, Lee Harvey Oswald. A man the history books say may have killed the president. Some might even say the last president we elected. Now we know he was there, but could Lee Harvey Oswald really have shot Kennedy? Not only did eyewitnesses at the book depository see him drinking a soda while the president was being shot, he clearly felt he was used as a patsy. Just listen to him.
Kill the president? No, sir, I didn't. People keep asking me that. Sir?
You shoot the president?
I work in that building.
Were you in the building at the time?
Naturally, if I work in that building, yes, sir.
Back up, man! Did you shoot the president?
No, they're taking me in because of the fact that I lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy.
Then, before anything can be found out, a local nightclub owner, Jack Ruby, walked up and at point blank shot Oswald dead in broad daylight in front of dozens of people and live TV cameras. So who was this guy exactly? It's little known that Lee Harvey Oswald was a one-man counterintelligence team working for the Kennedys. It is a known fact that he was listed as a CIA asset, trained in naval intelligence, that at one point had defected to the Soviet Union at a young age for his ideals, only to grow disillusioned with communism, and eventually repatriate to America with a Russian wife and baby. In an unprecedented situation, the government even gave him a repatriation loan. So, it's 1963. The CIA, the Italian mob, and the Cuban exiles in the American sector were united in their goals of undermining the Kennedys and overthrowing Fidel Castro. The convergence of these three criminal superpowers would eventually result in the death of JFK and the framing of Lee Harvey Oswald. The Kennedy brothers had declared a war on organized crime and set out to dismantle the Federal Reserve and the CIA, making dangerous enemies. Oswald was assigned by Robert Kennedy to infiltrate a group of Cuban exiles living in Oswald's hometown of New Orleans. The exiles worked in collusion with the CIA and Mafia, arranging hitmen to try and take the Cuban dictator out. They were all pissed off that Castro had shut down the party. A capitalist dream became a communist hell, and the Kennedys, who were more interested in a peace and prosperity approach, wanted no part of a hit job on another nation's head of state. Assigning Oswald made sense. He had a history of dabbling in communism, ignored society's conventions for his own moral leanings, and had the courage to take on the three high-stakes players that they were up against. He functioned as a one-man domestic counterintelligence operation. ultra-classified. It was while working for RFK in New Orleans that Oswald walked directly into the crosshairs, where the CIA, the Mafia, and the extremist Cuban exiles all intersected. In a situation that was most likely staged by the CIA, Oswald alerted the president to the threat of an assassination attempt to be made in Chicago on November 2nd, 1963. But it was a honeypot. The president canceled his trip to Chicago, and aborted assassination plot let the CIA know where their leak was, and fine-tuned their plans for Dallas. With the president avoiding the decoy assassination in Chicago, he may have had his guard down. As soon as the shit hit the fan in Texas, Oswald immediately connected the dots and realized he was to be framed. He panicked and ran as one might, even though he had an alibi. He was spotted in the employee lounge drinking a Coke by fellow employees during the time the shots were fired. After his arrest, the assholes who were behind the plot wanted to silence Oswald, which is where Jack Ruby came into the picture. With JFK dead and his assassination conveniently unloaded on his brother's now dead right-hand man, the CIA, the FBI, the Italian mob, the communists, and every other interested party had exactly what they wanted. Something to base the movie X-Men First Class on. Overall, the story is kind of a bummer, but we wanted to thank Lee for trying to save the president all those years ago. Now, while you may have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, maybe history can remember you in the right way. So, thanks. You tried. Okay, it's that time again. Time to play Human or Alien. Okay, if you haven't played with us before, here's how it works. We're going to see a video and we have to figure out if this is an extraterrestrial participating in human society or a human having a unique experience. Alright, let's see it. I feel like I don't have enough information to decide. Is there more? We might need to see one more, actually. Human? But one never knows for sure. Listen, if you really need help identifying the beings of Earth, call Andrew Bartzis. If you want to know what they are doing, listen to Cobra. But if you want to see him do funny things, come to our space station, or for those beings restricted to the surface of Earth, tweet us on Twitter, @StarseedActivate. Well, that's our show. See you next time, even though time is fake.